revolving loan fund. For fiscal year 2009, however, the state has notified the county that no state revolving loan funds will be available to the county for wastewater projects. As a result, more of the wastewater capital improvement projects in fiscal year 09 must be funded with county bond funds more than in the previous years. The county bond funds allocated to wastewater projects in this upcoming budget equal $14.4 million. Compared to only $1 million in this current fiscal year 08. As a result, the total amount of bond revenue in the proposed budget is $49.8 million, about $10 million higher than we have seen in recent years. In order to meet rising costs and the need to upgrade and expand our infrastructure, rate increases are proposed for wastewater, water supply, and solid waste operations. Sufficient funds are required to properly operate and maintain these systems in order to protect the public health, the environment, and our substantial investment in infrastructure. Wastewater rates are proposed to increase up to $3.80 a month for a single-family residence. Likewise, water rates are proposed to increase by $2.75 a month for the average residential family, with larger increases proposed for those who use larger volumes of water. In our solid waste program, residential collection fees are proposed to increase by $4 a month. The small increase in residential collection fees is an important step in helping the solid waste division become self-supporting like the wastewater division and the Department of Water Supply. However, the costs of collecting and managing solid waste are so much higher than the revenue generated by residential collection fees and landfill tipping fees that the solid waste fund must be supplemented by $16.5 million from the general fund. The Parks and Recreation Department is proposing changes in the fee structure for use of community centers with the intent of increasing availability of the centers to more users, and also the commercial ocean recreation activity application and permit fees are also proposed, and those meetings are going on right now. In the grant revenue area, I'm pleased to report that for fiscal year 09, the proposal includes $87.6 million in proposed grant revenue. This is an increase of 39%, or $39 million, which represent 80% from the previous year. That's in grant revenue coming from outside sources to the County of Maui. As the economy slows, the need to look beyond local resources is magnified. The requirement for sufficient revenue to fund operations and infrastructure does not diminish. Departments have been actively seeking grants for which they may be eligible. There has been a concerted effort to partner with state and federal legislators and agencies to secure outside funding for numerous county programs and services, particularly water resources and energy programs. The use of outside funding sources keeps our own taxes and rates at a reasonable level. In the area of proposed land acquisition using the open space funds, this will carry out two of our county-wide goals. One is to preserve and protect our natural resources, and the other to respect and celebrate the unique social and cultural characteristics of the people of Maui County. We propose to utilize funds in the Open Space Fund to purchase 4 very special parcels of land. First one is Morris Point, also known as Murphy's Beach or Kumimi, on the island of Molokai. County funds totaling $700,000 are proposed for the purchase of the 7.42-acre parcel to be used as a beach park at the east end of Molokai. There is currently no public beach in this area. The second one, Kawai Kapu Ranch, also on Molokai, county funds totaling $480,000 are proposed to be added to funds granted by the State Department of Land and Natural Resources to the Molokai Land Trust to purchase 196 acres of endangered watershed on the southeast side of Molokai. Another purchase is Nu'u lands and wetlands here on the island of Maui. It's behind the mountain over there. County funds totaling $221,000 approximately are proposed to be matched with federal, state, and private funds in partnership with the Maui Coastal Land Trust for the purchase of approximately 78 acres. This acquisition would preserve and facilitate the restoration of Maui's best remaining southeast coastal wetland and waterbird habitat and the largest remaining dune system in the islands. The last one that we're proposing is for Kenai Taro Lo'i. County funds totaling $350,000 are proposed to be matched with those from the U.S. Department of Agriculture in partnership with the Maui Coastal Land Trust for the purchase of a perpetual easement over approximately 6.3 acres of land at Kenai. This easement will ensure that the kalo lo'i on this site will be permanently protected. The operating budget of the County of Maui, the appropriation for fiscal year 09 is $461 million. This is an increase of almost $25 million over the previous fiscal year. Due to increases in salaries approved through recent collective bargaining agreements, approximately $10 million in additional funding is required just to meet our payroll costs. In fiscal year 2008, a post-employment obligations fund was created. The fiscal year 09 budget proposes to include $13.3 million for this fund, an increase of $1.7 million over last year. Allocations into the fund were made from special revenue funds as well as the general fund. The budget proposal also includes $20.7 million as the county's annual contribution to the state retirement system. Per the county charter, 1% of real property tax revenue is added to the Open Space, Natural Resources, Cultural Resources, and Scenic Views Preservation Fund. For fiscal year 2009, this totals $2.2 million. Another charter requirement is for 2% of the real property tax revenue to be added to the Affordable Housing Fund. For fiscal year 2009, that amount is $4.4 million. In addition, the budget proposes to include a $3 million contribution to the county's emergency fund. In the department operations area, the operating expenses have increased less than 6%, including the collective bargaining increases, in a tight and focused budget. A $25 million increase over fiscal year 09 is less than half the $56 million increase in operating expenses in fiscal year 2008, leaving more funds for capital improvements in a year when state revolving funds are not available for wastewater projects. Some of the highlights of the budget are, in the area of transportation, a $1.5 million increase of county transit services is proposed for a total cost of $6.5 million. Special needs transportation services for the disabled, dialysis patients, youth, and seniors are also proposed to expand, increasing the cost by $566,000 to $5.8 million. In housing and human concerns, we propose to address the affordable housing needs through a $4.4 million in the Affordable Housing Fund, $400,000 in additional funding for first-time home buyers, and over $1 million in housing-related grants to nonprofit agencies. The department also expects to receive over $18 million in federal housing funds. The department proposes to address a wide range of human concerns related to homelessness, substance abuse, health, education, culture and the arts, early childhood, youth programs, senior programs, and this is through over $9 million in grants to nonprofit agencies. In the Office of Economic Development, in a slowing economy, OED proposes over $10 million in economic development grants for agencies and organizations dealing with agriculture, small business development, workforce development, technology, tourism, watershed protection, and environmental protection. Of particular interest is the $150,000 to continue the county's commitment to the solar water heating initiative and $100,000 for a new renewable energies program category. In addition, OED staff